Lego, welcome to the Sharp Mind Show, episode 63. I'm Nate, the Fit Future MD, your host. Make sure you shop at InstaSale.com and pick you up a cool, inspirational t shirt today. All right, so the Dodgers win the World Series, win to game seven, all the theatrics. Yashimoto wins the um, MVP, right, of the series. Klayton Kershaw retires on top, right? But obviously, he's leaving a pitching spot open for the Dodgers. So that begs the question: Who who is the Dodgers going after this offseason to be their next starting pitcher, right? And so that gives us a top 10 list here. Um, because when you have a team that doesn't care about how much money they spend, it's pretty obvious who they're going to go after. Um, and that's Paul Skeens, right? Paul Skeens is the rookie phenom on a team with no spending power in Pittsburgh Pirates. And honestly, could use the prospects instead of because Paul Skeens was the best pitcher in baseball last year, right? But he literally has I don't remember what his record was, but I think it was like 11 wins or something, like nothing, like no wins. So that just goes to show you that the Pittsburgh Pirates need a lot more than just pitching, right? Like if it was good pitching, they would be winning, right? Because they got the best pitcher in baseball. But I went ahead and did like you know, who should they go after? Who will they go after? Like, is it fair? Absolutely not. But guess what? Life's not fair. So the Dodgers are going to probably keep winning because they're going to pick up a great pitcher, right? All right. So the number one person they'll probably go after is Paul Skeens. That would be my opinion. Second one's going to be Freddie Peralta from Milwaukee. Um, so he's one of their top starters in Milwaukee. Obviously, Milwaukee does not have a big payroll. And I think the other one that will uh, is Zach Gallen from Arizona. And he's a high quality arm, fewer payroll constraints in Arizona, but is definitely a trade candidate contender. Um, let me know what you guys think. Is it fair? Let me know what you guys think. Is it fair that the Dodgers be able to pick up these guys, be able to spend this kind of money? Obviously, no salary cap in baseball. Or do they bring somebody up in their farm system? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. All right, so this episode is brought to you by London and the Googly Goo, which is my wife's children's book. If you have nieces, nephews, or children of your own, be sure to check out London and the Googly Goo, available on Amazon. All right, so let's go talk about fantasy football this week. I scored 187 points in fantasy football this week, and I still almost lost. My opponent scored 181 points. So it's even worse that they scored 180 points and lost, right? But I just wanted to come up here and say that because I was like sweating bullets last night on Monday Night Football, right? Well, my opponent had 3 people left to play, and I still won, which is crazy to think about. Luckily, the Cowboys sucked last night, and Arizona was able to get the victory. But like I say, my strategy this year in fantasy football was to have 3 solid running backs, right? Because for whatever reason, like I say, early rounds of the of in early rounds of fantasy football, people like to go after receivers, like to go after quarterbacks. But for whatever reason, the running back is what is consistent, right? Anytime I've ever picked up a good wide receiver, they'll have games where they get 2 receptions, 3 receptions, and to be a solid fantasy producer, you got to have 6 receptions, 7 receptions, and a touchdown. Well, they're not going to get a touchdown every game, but I guarantee your running back's going to get 15 carries and probably 5 catches out of the backfield in the way offenses are running now. So that's 20 carries. That's 20, you know, minimum 20 points, right? It's just more consistent. And honestly, the league is weird this year because of all the injuries. My like half the people are 5-4. I'm 5-4. Um, you got one person that's like 7-2. But like I said, it's been a weird fantasy football year. What do y'all think is up with the fantasy football year? Is it really just the injuries this year that's causing the problem, or like I say, 187 points? Luckily for me, I was able to recognize that my running back Chuba Hubbard was injured and able to pick up Dowdle because now Dowdle has he's the number one back in the league, right? So hopefully they keep giving him 20 carries a game and keep moving on. So let me know what you think about fantasy football this year. All right. So I'm gonna move on to life coaching today. And I don't know why I got on this algorithm on TikTok. I really have no idea. But it says all my friends have significant others, but I can't find anyone. All my friends have significant others, but I can't find anyone. But you probably don't want nobody. Simple as that, right? Or you wanted somebody that your friend has, right? Let's say, are you best friends with somebody that your friend has, right? Um, I remember when I got with my now wife, she had people that came out of the woodwork said, "Oh, I can't believe you're with that guy. I wanted you. Like, I was the one that where they've been friend zoned or never took their shot or whatever, or never had a chance. I don't know, whatever. Um, but on a real note, like if you really actually want a partner, right? Um, and this goes to my females and males, right? So what does what does a significant other want? What are they looking for? Right. So if you go look at your profile and there's not a picture of you cute, that's not good. All right. Number one. Number two, what are you into? Like what is something that you like to do? So if you're a gamer, do you have a picture of you gaming? Right. If you're a person that likes to cook, do you have a picture of you liking to cook? You want to show what you actually like to do. You travel, okay, cool. We'll have a picture of you traveling. But say I saw one today where it's like, well, just work on yourself, and they're like, well, I'm the best version of self I'm going to be. Well, then whoever's coming after you is the best you're going to get, right? Like, but But basically, if somebody went and looked at your profile, they should be able to tell something about you, right? And they should be able to say, okay, well, I like this person or I don't like this person. I've seen a lot of stuff where it's like, you know, I can't marry a conservative or I can't be around a conservative. I've seen that kind of stuff a lot. Um, and that's okay. That's your choice, right? But you need to look at what the conservative values are and say which ones can't I live with, right? So there might be somebody that's pretty much conservative, but most people are actually in the middle, right? They're in the middle. And then they have certain things that make them conservative, certain things that make them liberal, right? So you need to figure that out too. Like which ones are the complete 100% no go? Because if you find the perfect man and he happens to be conservative on 9 of 11 things, you know, are those two things, or he's not conservative on 9 of 11 things, but the two things make him a conservative. Can you live with those two things, right? Um, like you don't just say, right off the bat, you know, like you need to figure out where that middle ground is if there is one, right? But then the last thing, I say, if you really want to find a significant other, you're going to sit there for an hour a day and swipe right? Hour a day. You're going to go on 3 dates a week, minimum, trying to find somebody. And, oh, it's exhausting. Oh, I did, 2 weeks of this. Like, okay, do it until you find somebody. Like, seriously. Like, find somebody that you're compatible with, right? That you're attracted to. Like, let's say it's not like back in the day where, you're just there and people find you. Like, my wife came up to me, right? I didn't even notice my wife in the club, right? She came up to me, noticed me. So even if you're just there and you're posted up, you know, in a club somewhere or at a bar somewhere, just post up and see if somebody comes say hey to you. Let it come happen natural. But if you really want it, you'll try for it, right? Basically, is the point. Let me know what you guys think. How would you help this person find a significant other, right? Because apparently it's very, very difficult out there right now. Luckily, I'm married. So hopefully I never have to find that out. All right. So last thing of the day, we'll go with the quote of the day. And it says, you'll find out life's a game of inches. So is football. And that's from Any Given Sunday, 1999. All right. So this quote's not just about sports, right? To get a first down sometimes, you do the tush push and push it through, right? But get the first down. But in life, everything's about choices. Everything's about what you decide to do. You can decide to give up. You can decide to move on. You can decide to pivot. But you got to have grit. You got to be persistent, and you got to fight for everything you get, for every inch in life. When it feels impossible to do something, that's when you got to fight, right? And so, that's what I do with Instracell, right? Like trying to put inspirational quotes on t-shirts so that people are inspired to go that extra inch, right? To go that extra mile, right? Let me know what you guys think about this quote from Any Given Sunday. What are you doing that's pushing you that 1 inch forward that'll make you successful, right? Is it your mindset, your skill set, your habits, right? What are you working on right now? And if you're not working on any of them, please sign up for life coaching so I can help you work on it so that you can become successful, right? So many people are struggling right now. So many people are, having a hard time. So let me help you. I'm Nate, and I'm a life coach. Shop at isforsale.com, pick up a cool inspirational t-shirt, buy my wife's book, London in the Googly Goo. Be ready for the newest drop of my wife's book coming soon. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.